Good morning, one and all. Shall I start the class? I think in the last class we have the first class, right? We had our first DM class. This is our second class. So do you remember what we have discussed in the last class? Contrapositive, inverse. Did we discuss truth tables? Did we discuss truth tables or not? Okay. So what is a preposition? Preposition is something like it is a statement which declares the fact, and that can be either true or false, right? So some examples for the prepositions statements we have seen. And what is the use of connectives? When do we use connectives? Okay, when do we use connectives and how many types of connectives we have? Can anyone tell? So connectives, we have four types of connectives like conjunction, disjunction, conditional statement and biconditional statement, right? So whenever you want to combine or join more than two prepositions, then you can join them using the connectives, right? So what are those connectives? Conjunction. Conjunction means this is and symbol. And symbol. When you are writing the truth table for conjunction, so for which combination of truth values the result will be true. Whenever both the values are true, then only the result is true. P and Q. Similarly, for disjunction, if at least one value is true, then the result is true. And for conditional statement, so conditional statement, we'll write it as P tends to Q. In this, we'll call P as hypothesis, Q as conclusion. Whenever only the conclusion is false, then the result is false. In all other cases, the result is true. And the last connective is biconditional statement, something like P double tends to Q. So when you see the truth table of this, whenever both the values are same means that can be either true or false. In those cases, the result will be true. Something like for true, it is true. For false, also it is true. Both should be same. In all other cases, the result will be false. Clear? So along with these four, we have a negation. But what is negation? Negation you can apply to a single variable. Only to a single variable you can apply a negation. But when it comes to all these four connectives, what I told you just now, they can be used to connect more than one variable. If you want to connect P and Q, then you can use any of these four connectives. If you want to apply negation, that can be applied to a single variable, something like negation P, negation Q, and so on, right? So next, contrapositive. Assume that P tends to Q is a conditional statement. P tends to Q is a conditional statement. Then Q tends to P is known as the converse of this statement. P tends to Q. Q tends to P. Q tends to P is known as the converse of the conditional statement. Similarly, if P tends to Q is a conditional statement, then negation Q tends to negation P is its contrapositive. Are you able to hear me? Am I clear to everyone? So negation Q tends negation Q tends to negation P is known as the contrapositive of the conditional statement. 1 second. Similarly, inverse. If P tends to Q is the conditional statement, negation P tends to negation Q is known as its inverse. Right? Now, in all these three, we can say that the conditional statement and the contrapositive and its contrapositive both are logically equivalent. Both are logically equivalent. What do you mean by logical equivalence? What do you mean by logical equivalence? Logical equivalence means the truth table, when you construct the truth table for these two, the truth table of this P tends to Q and its contrapositive, the both are same. Both are same. That is known as logical equivalence. Is it clear? Next, I think you know how to convert a English statement to its equation, equivalent equation. How to convert an English, whenever an English statement is given, how to convert that English statement to equivalent equation. I think you all know it. You want me to repeat again? Conversion of English statement, do you want me to repeat? Okay. Before that, let me explain how to design a truth table for a given compound preposition. Compound preposition means what? It contains more number of variables and combination of all the connectives. That is known as a compound preposition. Here we have two variables and we have a disjunction, negation, conditional statement and a conjunction. We have all these connectives, different connectives we can use and between different variables. That is a compound preposition. Let us see how to design the truth table for this. First, you need to identify what are the variables present. How many variables we have here? P and Q. Two variables you have here. Now, whenever the number of variables are 2, how many combination of truth values you can have? The truth values are true and false, and those true and false values you have to apply on two variables P and Q. That is 2 power 2. Number of variables are 2, truth values are also 2. So 2 power 2, total of 4 combinations you will get. Those are TT, TF, FT and FF. Now, you need to get design the truth table, right? So first, identify how many different terms you are having inside this compound preposition. How many different terms you are having? So this is one term. P or negation Q is one term. P and Q is one more term. Until and unless you design the truth table for these two terms, you cannot construct the truth table for the whole compound preposition, right? So in the first term you have a negation Q. So first get the negation Q from Q. So first get the negation Q. Next, get the value of P tends to negation q, and then p and q. At last, you can find the truth table, truth values for the compound preposition, right? Now you know what is a negation. Negation means what? Not. Something like not. If it is true, negation of q will be false. If q is false, negation of q will be true. So these are q values. You will get the negation values. For true, it is false. F, it is true. For t, it is f. For f, it is t. Now p or negation q. P or negation q. Or means what? At least one value should be true. So t or f. Yes, at least one value is true. So the result will be true. T or t. Yes, true. Next, f or f. Both are false. So the result is false. Next, f or t. F or t. At least one value is true. The result is true. Similarly, p and q. That means both the values should be true. Then only it is true. T and t. So the result is t. T and f. One value is false. So the result is false. Here also the one value is false. So the result is false. Here both the values are false. So the result is false only. Next, what you have to construct? You need to design P or negation Q tends to P and negation Q. So this is something like your P and this is your Q. P tends to Q. P tends to Q. That is conditional statement. So this is your hypothesis and this is your conclusion. Whenever only the conclusion is false, only the conclusion is false, in that case the result is false. Only the conclusion. Here both are false, so the result is true, not false. Here only the conclusion is false, so the result is false. So this is the way we can construct a truth table for any given compound preposition. Next, translate the English statements. So whenever English statement is given, next you can get the equivalent expression. You can get its equivalent expression. Before that, in the given statement, first you need to identify what are the individual statements present. You need to identify the individual statement. Let us take one example. Here the statement is given as you can access the internet from the campus. You can access the internet from the campus only if you are a computer science major, only if you are a computer science major or you are not a fisherman. Right? So this is the given statement. So by seeing this statement, you can identify the individual statement. So what are those? You can access the internet from campus. That is one statement. You are a computer science major. That is second statement. You are not a freshman. That is your third statement. Right? Now, you need to get the equivalent expression. Right? So what is this here? Only if. Only if. If. That means you can get the internet, and to get the internet, what is the condition to be satisfied? What is the condition to be satisfied? You should be a computer science student or you are not a freshman. So any one of these conditions should be satisfied. That means what? This can be true. This first statement is true if the second statement is true. It is something like if then statement. If then statement. If then means what? It comes under conditional statement. So first statement is P. I have equated the first statement to a variable P. So P tends to. Here, any one of these condition, because you have an or here. So any one of the conditions should be satisfied, right? So second statement I have equated to a variable Q on this R is your disjunction. And third statement I have equated to a variable R. What is your R here? You are a freshman, but the condition to be satisfied here it is not. You are not a freshman. Not means what? It is a negation. So negation of R. Therefore, the equivalent expression for this statement will be like P tends to Q or negation R. Clear? And remember one thing, whenever you are writing the expression for a given statement, you may get more than one expression. I get one expression, your friend get one expression, some other get another expression. If that expression is the same as the given statement, that is, it doesn't mean that whatever I have explained, that is the only answer or the only expression you should get. So for one statement, you can have more than one expression. See here, ma. So in this example, I have two equivalent logical expression for a given statement. For a given statement. Right? What is this statement? You cannot ride the roller coaster if you are under 4 feet tall unless you are older than 16 years old. That means if your height is less than 4 feet and your age is less than 16 years and your age is less than 16 years, then you cannot ride the roller coaster. Then you cannot ride. See here, ma. See what I am reading. If you are less than 4 feet height and your age is less than 16 years, then I am using, then you cannot ride the roller coaster. See, first identify what are the statement here. You cannot ride the roller coaster is one statement, right? You cannot ride the roller coaster is one statement. What is the second statement? You are under 4 feet tall. And the third statement is you are older than 16 years old. Three statements I have equating to three different variables, right? So I'm just taking the actual sentences, ma. So here you cannot. So I'll take this statement as, I'll equate this statement, you can ride the roller coaster to a variable P. Similarly, you are under 4 feet tall will be equated to Q. And I'm equating this third statement, you are older than 16 years old to a one more variable R. Now write the expression. If you are height is less than 4 feet, that is your Q, and that means conjunction, you are older than 16 years old is equated to the variable R, right? But the condition is what? If your height is less than 4 feet and your age is less than 16 years, that means negation of R, and your age is less than 16 years. Then whenever you find a then, it is a conditional statement. Then you cannot ride the roller coaster. That is your negation P. Right? So this is one way of writing the expression. So the same statement I can write in another way, right? That is, you can ride the roller coaster. You can ride the roller coaster if and only if. What are the two conditions to be satisfied? What are the two conditions to be satisfied? You can ride the roller coaster if and only if means what? It is biconditional statement. If and only if your height is more than 4 feet. More than 4 feet means it is negation Q. If and only if your height is more than 4 feet and your age is more than 16 years. Age is more than 16 years. If these two conditions are satisfied, you can ride the roller coaster. So here you got two expressions for the same statement. Is it clear for everyone? Now, what is a tautology? Tell me what is a tautology? What is a tautology and what is a contradiction? Do you remember? So tautology means the compound prepositions which gives all true values. All true values. Contradiction means its opposite. The compound prepositions which give all false values. Right? So whenever a compound preposition is given, you can prove that it is a tautology by constructing the truth table, and in the truth table, if the last column will give you all true values, then we can say that it is a tautology. Right? So see, prove that negation of P tends to Q tends to negation Q is a tautology. So first identify the variables here. What are the variables we have here? P and Q. Two variables we are having. Log. Second, P tends to Q, you need to calculate. Negation of P tends to Q. Negation Q. And the last given compound preposition. Right? So you know whenever the variables are 2, and you'll get 4 combinations. T, T, TF, FT, FF. Right? Next, calculate P tends to Q. P tends to Q means what? Only if the conclusion is false, in that case, the result will be false. So, only in the second case, you will get the false result. Negation means what? Get the negation for this column. So, TF, TT will become FT, FF. Now, negation Q. Get the negation for the second column. Get the negation for the second column. Right? Once you find all these, you can find the truth table for the compound preposition. Hello? Water aunty. So when you observe here, negation of P tends to Q we have calculated. Similarly, negation Q means what? F, T, F, T. Now, negation of P tends to Q. Negation of P tends to Q tends to negation Q. That means this is your hypothesis, this is your conclusion. Right? Only when the conclusion is false, then the result is false. But here both are false. Is your last column, you are getting all true values. Therefore, you can say the given compound preposition is a tautology. Similarly, see one more example for and negation P and Q you need to calculate. Then you can calculate P and negation P and Q, right? So P, Q are the two variables. Next to calculate negation P. Next, T becomes F, F becomes T. Next, negation P and Q. And means what? When both the values are true, then only it is true. So this and this, negation P and Q. So whenever both the values are true, consider this first column and this fourth column. First column and your fourth column. Only when both the values are true. So T and F false, T and F false, F and T false, F and F. So when you observe this last column, the resultant column, it is giving you all false values. Therefore, you can say that it is a contradiction. Given compound preposition is a contradiction. Clear? Now, tautology means what? If the resultant value is true. For all the combination, if it is giving you true values, it is true. Distribution of true and false values, contingency. Clear? Next, logical equivalences. So, whenever two given prepositions are logically equivalent in using two methods. Using two methods, you can say that given prepositions are logically equivalent. First one is using the truth table method. First method is using the truth table. See, three dashed lines, or you can use double, equal to with two-sided arrow. Right? Right. Now take one example. Prove that this negation of P construct constructing the truth table for first one, that is negation of P or Q. So take the two variables P and Q. Next calculate P or Q. Next calculate negation of P or Q. Similarly for the second negation of P and negation Q. One second, I forgot to record the video. So here wait for a while. So here construct the truth table for negation of P or Q. You know how to construct the truth table, right? So you got F, 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 T. Similarly, construct the truth table for negation P and negation Q. Negation P and negation Q, right? So after constructing the truth table, you please compare these two columns. The resultant of first preposition, the result of second preposition. Now when you observe here, you got 3Fs followed by T for this combination of truth values. Here also you got 3Fs followed by T. So when the truth values are same for all the combination of true values, then we can say that these two are logically equivalent. Clear? See one more example. Check whether these two compound prepositions are logically equivalent or not. P tends to Q tends to P is the first one. Negation P tends to P tends to Q is the second preposition. Clear? First construct the truth table. First you need to construct truth values for Q tends to P. After that you can construct for P tends to Q tends to P. This is the resultant column for the first compound preposition. Q tends to P means what? This is your hypothesis. This is your conclusion. Whenever only the conclusion is false, then the result is false. Similarly, here this is your what we call hypothesis, and this is your conclusion. So this is your hypothesis and this is your conclusion. So whenever only the conclusion is false, then the result is false. But here conclusion and hypothesis both are false, so the result will be true only, right? So this is the resultant column for the first compound preposition. Similarly, design the truth table for the second compound preposition. So here what is required? Negation P is required. P tends to Q, you need to calculate, and negation P tends to Q is to be calculated. Negation P means what? Just negation of this. T T F F will become F F T T. Next P tends to Q. This is your hypothesis. This is your conclusion. Whenever only the conclusion is false, in that case the result will be false. In that case the result is false. In all other cases it is true only. Now negation P tends to Q. This is your hypothesis. This is your conclusion. Whenever only the conclusion is false, then the result is false. But here both conclusion and hypothesis both are false, so the result will be true only. Okay? So this is the resultant column for the second compound preposition. When you compare these two prepositions, the resultant column of the two prepositions, you can conclude these values are same. T, 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 T. Here also you got all true values. That means these two are tautologies. So these two are logically equivalent. They are tautologies. Clear? So this is the way you can prove that the given compound prepositions are logically equivalent by using the truth table method. Is it clear for everyone? Did you all understand, ma? Okay. Now move on to the replacement process, replacement method. That means second method to prove that given compound prepositions are logically equivalent or not. Right? That is replacement process. 1 second. So to know whether if you want to use the replacement method, first of all, we should know replacement rules or replacement laws. Okay? So you have these replacement laws on conjunction and disjunction, and you will also have these replacement laws on biconditional statement as well as on the conditional statement. Let us see this. First, we'll see on conjunction and disjunction. Right? So first one is P and T. P and T is equal to T. P and T is equal to T. Second one is P or F is equal to F. So when you observe here, this is an AND connective. AND connective means what? Both the values should be true, then only the result is true. So here one value is true. One value is decided that it is true. So the result always depends on the value of the second. If it is true, it is true. If it is false, if it is false. Very good. Here one value is decided that it is false. So the result always depends. T, F or F is F. That means it depends on T only, right? So these two laws are known as identity laws. Identity laws. Second one, domination law. P or T equal to T. P and F equal to F. So here, in case of R symbol, if at least one value is true, then the result is true. Irrespective of the value of P, the result is T. In the same way, in case of conjunction, if one value is false, irrespective of the second value, the result is false. Right? So these two are known as domination laws. Domination laws. Next one is idempotent law. That is P of P can be written as a P single P. Similarly, for P and P also you can write single P only. These two are known as idempotent law. Next, double negation law. That means negation of negation P. The two negations will get cancelled. Something like minus of minus is equal to plus, right? So in the same way, double negation law means negation of negation P, it is equal to P only. And the next one is commutative law. Commutative law. Commutative law is something like A plus B equal to B plus A, B plus A minus B equal to B minus A. So in place of plus and minus, I have used conjunction and disjunction. So here P or Q is equal to Q or P. P and Q is also equal to Q and P. These two are known as commutative laws. Next, associative law. Associative law means something like A plus B plus C can be equal to A plus B plus C. Similarly, A minus B minus C can be written as A minus B minus C. Same thing here. P or Q or Q or R. Sorry. P or Q or R can be equal to P or Q or R. Similarly, for for conjunction, it is P and Q and R can be written as P and Q and R. These two are associative laws. And the next most important is distributive law. Most of the times we'll use distributive law, De Morgan's law, and sometimes we'll use this associative law also. Right now? So in our replacement process, most of the times we'll use all these three formulas and double negation too. Right? So please do remember all these laws. Next, distributive law means P or Q and R. Here, I can distribute this. So when you observe these two laws, associative law and distributive law, you may get confused when to apply associative law, when to apply distributive law. So here, within these brackets and outside the bracket, if you have two different connectives like conjunction and disjunction or disjunction and conjunction, in that case, you can apply the distributive law. And if you have the same connectives within the braces, outside the braces, in that case, you can use associative law. Right? So here we have disjunction. Therefore, I can use it. Here we have and conjunction. So I have to use the distributive law. So distributive law is I am distributing this conjunction. Right? Then you can write this as P or Q and P or R. Clear? Similarly, P and Q or R can be written as P and Q or P and R. These two are known as distributive laws. Distributive laws. Next one is De Morgan's law. De Morgan's law. So De Morgan's law is when you have a negation to a term, then the negation can be applied to the individual variables within the braces just by changing the connective. That is, if it is a conjunction, it changes to disjunction. It is a disjunction, it changes to conjunction. So negation of P and Q can be equal to negation P or negation Q. Similarly, negation of P or Q can also be equal to negation P and negation Q. And the next one is absorption law. Absorption law. P or P and Q is equal to P and P or Q is also equal to P. And the last one is negation law. P or negation P is equal to true. That means here it is or symbol. True or false equal to when you Yes, ma'am. Now we'll see the logical equivalences on conditional statement and biconditional statement. Right? P tends to Q, you can write as negation P or Q. Similarly, P tends to Q, K is also logically equivalent to negation Q tends to negation P. Now, can anyone tell me what is this second one? P, this negation Q tends to negation Q. Negation P is what? What is this negation Q tends to negation P? We have discussed in the starting of the class. What is negation Q tends to negation P? Contrapositive, yes. So, the contrapositive and the biconditional statement, they are logically equivalent. The same formula I have used here. So, P tends to Q can also be written as negation Q tends to negation P. Right? So, similarly, P or Q can be equal to negation P tends to Q. Negation P tends to Q. Now, P and Q. P and Q is logically equivalent to negation of Q tends to negation P. Negation of Q tends to negation P. Next, negation of P tends to Q. That means just apply a negation to the first formula. Negation of P tends to Q is equal to P and negation Q. That means you apply negation to the negation P to Q using the De Morgan's law, then you will get P and negation Q. P and negation Q. Next, P tends to Q and P tends to R. P tends to Q and P tends to R. So, it is equal to. So, here we have an AND symbol here. And when you observe these two terms, here the first variable is same. The first variable in both the terms is same. So, whenever the first variable is same, then it will be equal to P tends to, this AND symbol is not going to be changed. It is going to be the same. So then you can write this as P tends to Q and R. P tends to Q and R. Right? So see the second one. P tends to R and Q tends to R. When you observe these two terms, here the second variable is same. That is your conclusion is same. In the first case, your hypothesis is same. So this and symbol, whatever the connective we have here, that is not going to be changed. You will get the same and or the conjunction. But whenever the hypothesis are different, this conjunction is changed to symbol change to and symbol change or symbol. Now it becomes P or Q tends to R. P or Q tends to R. See this third example, third formula. Here also the hypothesis is same. The hypothesis is same. So when the hypothesis is same, then this symbol is not going to be changed. This disjunction will be the same. You can write this as P tends to Q, disjunction R. Similarly, whenever this conclusion is same, instead of hypothesis, if the conclusion is same, then what happens? This disjunction will changes to conjunction. Disjunction will change to conjunction. So it can be written as P and Q tends to R. So these are all the logical equivalences on conditional statement. In the same way, we have the logical equivalences on conditional biconditional statement. So in this, what you need to remember is most of the times we'll use the first formula. First formula we'll use most of the time. So you have to remember these laws. Among all these laws, first law you have to remember must. Right? Next, see the logical equivalences on biconditional statements. On biconditional statement. So in these, the first two are important. The first two are important. Huh? So P double tends to Q is logically equivalent to, first one and the third one. These two are most important. Means most of the times we'll use. Most important means we'll use them most of the time. P double tends to Q is logically equivalent to P tends to Q and Q tends to P. P tends to Q and Q tends to P. Similarly, P double tends to Q is also equal to negation P double tends to negation Q. And the next one is, this can be written as or logically equivalent to P and Q or negation P and negation Q. Negation P and negation Q. Right? So these are, now the last one is negation. Just apply a negation on the second formula. Negation of P tends to Q is equal to P double tends to negation Q. So these are the logical equivalences on biconditional statements. Biconditional statements. Now, using these replacement laws, we can prove that given prepositions are logically equivalent using the replacement method. Using the replacement method. Right. Write down. Let us see one example. So remember, ma. So when you are using this replacement process, actually there is no particular sequence to be followed, but what we will do is, first in the given compound preposition, if you find any conditional or biconditional statement, we will try to remove them or using these two equivalences. If you have a conditional statement, then by using this first formula, you can remove this conditional statement. Similarly, if you have any biconditional statement, using this formula, you will try to remove the biconditional statement. Then you will get a conditional statement. From this conditional statement, you know how to get a conjunction or disjunction, right? So after that, you will apply the De Morgan's law and distributive law based on the requirement, based on our requirement sequence. You will apply the required formulas, right? Let us see one example. Prove that negation of P or negation P and Q. And negation P and negation Q. You need to prove that these two are logically equivalent. If you use a truth table method, simply what you will do, you will construct a truth table for this LHS part and for this RHS part, and you'll just compare the resultant column. If they are equal, you'll say that they are logically equivalent. But here you need to apply the replacement laws, right? So take the LHS part. What is that? Negation of P or negation P and Q. Right? Now, what you need to get, you need to derive negation P and negation Q as a result from this preposition. So when you don't have any conditional or biconditional statement. The first step you cannot follow. You can omit the first step. Next, what you will do, you will apply De Morgan's law or the distributives law. So here you have a negation to the term, to the whole term. Therefore, by using the De Morgan's law, you can apply that negation to the individual variables within the braces. Then it becomes negation P. When you are using this De Morgan's law, the R symbol will changes to and negation of this whole term, that is negation P and Q. Did I discuss this replacement process in the last class? Am I clear now? Am I clear now? Did I discuss the last replacement process? Any example for replacement process in the last class? No? Okay. Okay. So see here, ma. So when you apply the De Morgan's law, then it becomes negation P and negation of this whole term. Right? Now again apply the De Morgan's law here. Apply the De Morgan's law. It is negation P is going to be as it is, and now when you apply this De Morgan's law, it becomes negation of negation P or negation Q or negation Q. Next, here negation of negation P means what? Using the double negation, it becomes P. So negation P and P or negation Q. Right? So here the connective outside the parenthesis and the connective within the parenthesis, they are different, which means that you can apply the distributive law. If they are same, which law you can apply, ma? If they are same, if the connective within the parenthesis and outside the parenthesis are same, then which law you can apply? Which replacement law you can apply? Associative law. Associative law. Do you remember? Associative law. So here. So if these two are same, then you can use associative law. If these two are different, then you can use a distributive law. So here in my example, these two are different. Therefore, I can apply a distributive law. So what you can distribute? You can distribute this what we call OR symbol or your disjunction. Then it becomes negation P and P or negation P and negation Q. Now negation P and P becomes what? Using the negation law. This is true and false. One value is true, then its negation will be false. True and false. As it is and symbol, if at least one value is false, the whole result will be false only. The whole result will be false only. Right? So false or this will be negation P and negation Q. Right? So false or something. This is or symbol means what? If at least one value is true, the result will be true. So as one value is false, as here one value is false, so the result always depends on the second value. So the result will be negation P and negation Q, which is your required answer. So by taking the LHS and if you are deriving the LH part using the replacement clauses or by using the everyone, the logical replacement process. Did you all understand, ma'am? 61, 561, 561. Did you understand what I explained? 561, 561. Okay. Let us see one more example. Using the replacement process, prove that P tends to Q and R tends to Q is equal to P or R tends to Q. So this is one replacement law on conditional statement. We have seen this law, right? So let us prove this. What is this? Here, when you observe here, uh, the conclusion part is same. Instead of this hypothesis, that is your second variable is same. Whenever the second variable is same, what happened? Whatever the connective we have here, that will be changed. So here you have an and connective, so that will changes to or connective. That will change to or connective. Now it becomes P or R tends to Q. Tends to Q. Right? Let us take the LHS part and try to get the RHS part. What is your LHS? P tends to Q and R tends to Q. What is the first statement? When you are given compound preposition, if you find any conditional or biconditional statement, first you'll try to remove them. P tends to Q can be equal to what? Negation P or Q. P tends to Q is equal to negation P or Q, right? I can write this P tends to Q as negation P or Q, and this R tends to can be written as negation R or Q. Clear? Next. So here when you see here, is same, and in your answer you should have P and R at one place and Q at one place. So what I will do is I'll keep P and R at one place. So you can write this as negation P and negation R. Consider the first term. only R, that is R at one place. So this can be written as using the associative law. A plus B plus C can be written as A plus B plus C. Why? Because you should have R at one place. Here your R is combined with Q. That I am dividing. I am dividing or I am separating R from this Q. So for it can be written as negation P and negation Q at one place and this R. So from the first term, you will get this. Now, from this second and third terms, when you observe here, the last variable is same. This R is same. So keep this R. Sorry, ma, some network issue has happened. Let me explain this again one more time, the same example. Am I audible? Let me know. Am I audible? Okay. So, is my screen visible, ma? Is my screen visible? So, here prove that this compound preposition is logically equivalent to R. Right? So, take the LHS part. When you observe in the resultant, in the RHS part, you have R, a single R, right? So, what I will do is, I'll try to separate R and I'll try to keep that aside. I try to keep R as a separate thing. Right? So here your R is combined with negation Q. So I'll remove this negation Q from this R. Right? Then I can write this using the associative law. I can write this as negation P and negation Q and R. Or here also you have R as same. In these two terms, you have the last term, that is R as same. Therefore, you can use the distributive law. Why distributive law? Why? Because the symbol within the braces and the symbol outside the braces is different. Then you can use the distributive law. Then it becomes Q or P and R and R. Just to simplify this using the De Morgan's law, negation of P union Q and R, this can be written as P union Q, because P union Q is equal to Q union P. P and Q is also equal to Q and P. So it is P union Q and R. P union Q and R. Now it is when you observe these, so take this R as common. Then using the distributive law, it becomes negation of P or Q and negation of P or Q or P or Q and R. So this is something like a variable and its negation. Variable and its negation. So a variable union, its negation is always equal to true. True and R using the negation law. True and R is equal to what? As it is an R symbol, and symbol, and means what? Both the values should be true, but here one value is decided that it is true. So the result capital R. So the result will be R, which is your LHS. Which is your RHS. So by taking LHS, after deriving this LHS, you are able to get the RHS part. Therefore, you can say that given two compound prepositions are logically equivalent. Now, what you will do is you take one example. I'll give you one example, and you need to prove that they are logically equivalent. So take this example, ma. P tends to Q tends to R. Prove that it is logically equivalent to P and Q tends to R. You take and solve this, and whenever I call anyone's name, you have to show me, you have to switch ఏం Did anyone solve the problem what I have given? Did anyone solve, ma? Can you show me 7D? You please turn on your camera and show me. Show me. It's not. What are the laws you have used? Which rules you have used?
Associative and logical equivalence.
Associative is one law. I mean, any other laws you have used?
This logical equivalence first
Okay.
law.
Okay, ma. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, ma. Surya, very good. Anyone else? Is there anyone who solved the problem? 79, Abhinav. Abhinav. Can you show me what you did? You please turn on your camera. Did you get the answer? P and one second. Keep it like that only. 1 second. P tends to negation Q or P on. Okay, very good. 6G. 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 Can you turn on your camera, 6G? G. Turn on your camera. Unmute yourself. Unmute and answer. Meanwhile, let me take the attendance. So in the next class, what I will explain is I'll explain the normal forms in the next class. You practice more problems on this replacement plasma. After that, I'll start rules of inference. Okay, did any one of you having doubts in today's class? Is whatever I explained in today's class, did you all, is it clear for you all? Whatever the topics I have just revised what we have discussed in the last class, the introduction part and contrapositive, converse, inverse I have discussed, and how to convert a given statement, English statement, into the equivalent using the truth table and without using the truth table. All these we have discussed in today's class. Did everyone of you understand all these concepts? Or if you have any doubts, you please let me know so that I'll try to repeat them. Respond, ma. Did you understand or not? Wait, let me take the attendance. Okay. Okay. 6J, I'll show you the solution. Wait for 1 second. I'm taking the attendance. I'm taking the rule numbers. Wait for 2 seconds. 2 minutes. 63, 76.